tonight, how to prevent the headache of migraines.
We learn how to make very pretty things out of paper.
It's called quilling, Ash. And Suzanne Husseini kickstarts your culinary week with a terribly tempting shish parak.
This is the one and only Studio One.
As always, live from the heart of Dubai.
Hello, welcome to the show and the start of a brand new week here at Studio One headquarters.
Indeed it is. Coming up, your calls, your comments and your questions. But first, let's meet Zishan Ali, who's hanging out with us in the West Wing this evening. Zishan is here. A nice little story about Zishan because his wife Fahana has sent in Zishan's picture this evening to appear in the frame.
Sweet of her.
And she puts, "I love him until the end of our last breath and admire his every effort and hard work in trying to make it a better life for us." And then she adds on the end, "But even better than that, he's going to blush very much after we mention this."
Oh, how very sweet of you, Zishan. You're a lucky man. Now, many of you have been all over our Facebook page this weekend getting in touch with the show and leaving your questions.
Indeed, yes. Hello to our friend Sarah Wagdi, who wants to know why Ash doesn't cook a nice Indian dish one night right here in our kitchen. Yes,
Well,
Ash, why don't you?
Well, Sarah, it's simply because I want all these lovely people here to live a few more years. Yeah. Now, a few have been wondering how Basil, who won our Thursday night dine-out competition last week, has he been able to get from Abu Dhabi to Dubai on time, do you reckon?
Yeah, he was, where was he? He was down in Al Ain, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And then the truth is, well, he's got it, is the voucher's valid for a whole month long. So even if he didn't make it last Thursday, he's got another 4 weeks to do exactly that. And finally, Haja Essam would like to know if there is any way that she can contact us and leave her good suggestions for our programme. Well, you know what, Haja? There's quite a few ways to get in touch. Take a look at this. Studio One is here to make you happy. And to make sure that happens, we need your thoughts on the show.
Send us an email to studio1@dmi.ae with your comments.
Poke us on Facebook, facebook.com/Studio One Live to tell us you love us. Or perhaps you'd rather tweet. Go to twitter.com/Studio One Live to tell us what you think of tonight's show.
Or why not make that call and leave your message on our audience response line? That's 056 680 1018.
However you choose to do it, just make sure you get in touch because your wishes are our command. Well, maybe. It's a brand new week and a brand new chef. Well, for this season at least, because the one and only Suzanne Husseini is back with us for season 2. Thank you for being with us.
Good to be here.
It's great to have you back with us for yet another season. Wonderful dishes coming our way over the next couple of weeks. But before we even get into that, the book. Suzanne cooks and it has gone ballistic.
Yes, it has gone ballistic, all right. It's I'm aiming to rule the world, you know, one country at a time. It's going to be in North America, in the UK, in New Zealand and Australia very soon.
Congratulations.
Thank you
Couldn't
so
have happened
much.
to a nicer person. So let's tell us exactly, I mean, this recipe will be available in that book. What are you doing for us tonight?
I'm making a dish that has a Turkish name. It's called shish barak. I'm going to be using something Chinese, and I'm going to turn it into the most wonderful, gorgeous Arabic dish you've ever seen.
So for those that don't know what shish barak is, how would you explain it to the
It's a
uninitiated?
pasta dish. We don't have very many in the Arab world, but this is one of them. A pasta dish filled with fragrant, sautéed lamb and Swiss chard. And then I'm going to infuse the yogurt sauce that it's cooked in with coriander and garlic.
Well, I can't wait.
It's
I
to
know a
die
lot of
for.
people have the ingredients. They're on our Facebook page at the moment. A lot of people want to be cooking along at home. So what do they need to be doing first?
Well, I think you should saute the meat and get it ready and start filling your pasta and put that aside, and then you can start cooking your yogurt.
So this is completely handmade, homemade.
Absolutely.
No sort of processed stuff at all.
No processed stuff, but I've taken a little shortcut.
That's all right.
It's okay.
That's fine. We
It's
won't
all
tell
right.
anyone.
Yeah.
It's the magic of television,
That's
isn't
right.
it? Suzanne, thank you very much indeed. You've got around about 25 minutes or so. We'll be catching up with you throughout the show, so we'll let you crack on with that. A reminder, of course, that the ingredients and the recipe are on our Facebook page. That's facebook.com/Studio One Live. Right, Suzanne Husseini, who's actually given one of her books away in our grand prizes. Talking of prizes, Ash, West Wing.
Thank you, Tom. Now, it's time to launch tonight's competitions. As always here in Studio One, we have an impressive list of prizes, starting with a quilling kit courtesy of our next guest.
A What kit? Well, you will find out very shortly. There's also the final 2 tickets to see the musical Oliver performing live right here in Dubai.
Suzanne Hosseini's cookbook, When Suzanne Cooks.
And today's big prize, a sumptuous jazz brunch for 2 people at the Al Bahu restaurant at the Ibn Battuta Gate Hotel.
And if you want to win all this, this is what you need to do. Grab your mobile phone, SMS the word Sunday to our audience response line on 056 680 1018. That's 056 680 1018.
Couldn't be the simpler, could it really? Or if you're entering from outside the UAE, the number you need is 00971 56 680 1018. Remember to include your name and your location. 3 of you will be randomly selected to reach the final, and 1 of you will win the lot. So get involved this evening. Now, it is time to take a very short break, but when Ash and I come back, we'll be ready and willing to try a spot of quilling.
And could there be a migraine nightmare that you have trouble with? Stay tuned to find out.
Welcome back to the show. Now, take a look at what I have here, because many people watching will think exactly the same as I am at the moment. These are, well, for all intents and purposes, little scraps of paper that probably should be popped straight in the bin.
But did you know that with the right kind of hands, these paper pieces could be made into creative wedding invitations, birth announcements, greeting cards, and so much more?
Here to tell us, but more importantly, to show us how, is quilling artist Farah Al-Fardh joins us live in the studio. Thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
Well, no, and first and foremost, before we get, I mean, on the show in the past we've had quilting, and a lot of people have said, you mean quilting, don't you, Tom? You mean quilting. But how do you explain, how do you interpret quilling? What is it?
Quilling is the art of rolling paper strips.
Okay, so literally, this is a strip of paper, which could be a bit of waste paper, it could be
magazine paper, newspaper.
Any different colour, any different sort of type of paper, and the rolling is the art, is it?
Yes.
Okay, so you're going to show us how to do that whilst we ask some more questions and bits and pieces. So we'll let you get underway because I don't know about you, Ash, but I've been absolutely bamboozled by some of these pieces.
So am I. I really want to know where does this come from, because I don't think this is an extremely popular art, especially here in the UAE. I believe it is still at its infancy stage. So how did this come about?
This art started in Europe with Italian and French nuns. They took the edges of paper, they started rolling it and decorating their...
And it's also a very inexpensive recreational
very
activity,
inexpensive,
isn't it?
because you can use any type of paper, not even using the tool. You could roll it by hand or with a toothpick.
With a toothpick, all right. Now, I know that from your response and from all these lovely little pieces of art that you've laid out over here, you're extremely passionate about it.
Oh, yeah.
Tell us how you started and when did this idea and this inspiration come about for you?
It started in the year 2004 after I fell from stairs and I twisted my ankle. So I was staying at home for a month doing nothing, which is very killing.
And that's how this interest came about,
yeah,
is it?
I had to do something while I'm lying down in bed. So the first book next to me was about quilling, and it included all the tools and material with it.
Okay.
So I started making the shapes and distributing it around.
Farah, you mentioned the shapes there. You've got some examples of that. Now, I'm trying, and I've been trying for the last hour or so to get a few of these. Talk us through some of the basic shapes that you can create from just a piece of paper and a quilling tool.
See, we'll take now one strip.
Yeah.
This tool is slotted,
Yeah.
so you can put the paper strip in it and start rolling it like this.
Okay.
Ah, see, that's where I'm going wrong. That's why I'm not getting the control.
See, I'm resting the tool on my finger so that the paper does not go up and down.
Now, that seems like a very, very simple process. And you get to the end of the piece of paper, and obviously you've got a little roll of paper as such. How do you make that into these wonderful, delicate little pieces of art?
See, the shape you just made, we call it a tight coil.
Yep.
Tight coil.
It is one of
I
two
call it a
basic.
miracle for me at the moment.
It is one of two basic shapes, the tight coil and the loose coil.
Yeah.
This tight coil, we make out of it the 3D models or figures.
Okay, okay.
And
so it's just a build-up of the coils,
yeah?
Okay.
What does a quilling kit typically consist of?
Quilling kit includes
This.
a quilling tool, paper strips, instruction sheet, and a ruler. It differs from one kit to another.
And I can see that you've made a penguin, a little girl, a cute little goat. Is there anything that you can't make? And I love this jewelry piece that you've made over here. It's
I just made it last night.
You made it last night? Okay, fantastic. Have you participated in any kind of competition or exhibition displaying your work?
I went to Japan, UK, US, Oman, Jordan, just to spread this art.
Okay.
In US and UK, I participated in the annual meetings of the Quilling Guild and North American Quilling Guild. Also in Japan, there was an annual meeting of the Japanese Quilling Guild. And I am also the regional representative of the Quilling Guild of UK.
Okay.
Not only that, you're a translator, you're an educator, and you've made it your mission to take quilling to the region as well, to help people with this. And obviously, you've very kindly given us a couple of quilling sets that we'll be giving away this evening to a lucky viewer. What would you say, one piece of final advice to people out there, potential quillers who'd like to get involved?
I want them to try it.
That's all you do. You know what? And I've only been at it a very short while. I think I might need a little more work, no?
Certainly, a lot more, Tom.
You'll be a Picasso soon.
You're very kind, Farah. Anyway, thank you so much for joining us on the show. It was a pleasure. Of course, if you'd like to know more about this art, you can check out faruha.net. Thank you so much for joining us on the show, and good luck with your future endeavors.
Thank you.
Now, let's go back over to the kitchen and see what Suzanne Husseini is getting on with the shish barak. Suzanne?
Yes, indeed. I am
How
filling
is
my
your
dough.
Shish barak coming along?
It's very good. This is the shortcut I was talking about, and this is the Chinese element to my dish.
Wow.
I've actually used wonton wrappers instead of making the dough traditionally. The filling is all ready, and I have my jewels in there too.
The pomegranates,
Yes.
the famous pomegranates.
Yes, of course. Just a little bit of water on two corners, and then close it up. Basically, it looks like a ravioli.
Okay.
And then just to make it a little more pretty and to make sure that it's going to look good and sealed well, I close it, and voila, it's done.
Voila,
Save
that's
you a lot
it.
of time. Yes.
So anyone can make this at home. Of course,
yes.
the recipe is available on Facebook.
Yes.
And you have quickly taught us your little Chinese trick of making the shish barak.
Well,
all right.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to let you crack on, and let me find out what
Okay.
my good friend Tom is up to.
So what do? Do I still keep this in here or not? Or no? Oh, I'm sorry, Ash. After the break, it's very addictive, that's all I can say. After the break, your migraine questions answered in the Sunday surgery. One of you will become a winner live on the very show, and you could be getting one of these quilting kits, and I tell you, they're addictive.
Welcome back to the show, where it's time for your regular weekly health check in the Sunday surgery.
Still got my quilling pen though. Get hold of that
Get
one.
over it, Tom.
Okay, listen up. Do you have any of the following symptoms? Eye pain?
Sometimes.
Okay. A throbbing and pounding in your brain? Maybe loss of appetite? Or even nausea and vomiting? If they sound familiar, well, you could well be a TV presenter. But you could also be suffering from migraines.
Here to answer your questions and hopefully help you reduce the number of migraine attacks, we have with us in the studio neurologist Dr. Deeb Qaid. Welcome to the show, Dr. Deeb.
Hello, good evening.
All right, now migraine is an issue which has been there for over years, and it's popularly known that almost 1 in every 5 women around the world suffer from the disease. My question is, what makes migraine different from a regular headache?
There are various categories of headaches. Some of the most common types of headaches are tension type headaches and migraine headaches. There are specific criteria. There's no blood test or scan you can do to establish the diagnosis. So how do you know it's a migraine? These criteria include having a headache that lasts anywhere from 4 hours up to 72 hours, a headache that is sometimes one-sided, throbbing in nature, as you said, worsened by activity, and usually moderate to severe intensity pain. So the very mild headache that's like 1 or 2 out of 10 on a scale from 0 to 10 that goes away if you go shopping or you go playing football, that's not a migraine, that's just a tension type headache. So the migraine has to be severe and usually worsened by activity, simply going up and down the stairs. In addition, people may have nausea or vomiting, and if they don't, they ought to have sensitivity to light and sound.
These are the symptoms to migraine, is it?
Exactly, yeah. There are photophobia and phonophobia. So if you have this constellation of symptoms, then and you have no other reason to explain it, so your bedside neurological examination is normal and everything else is normal, then the patient has migraine.
Debilitating is a word I suppose you could put alongside migraines. I think I've only ever had one, and that was when I was doing my finals at university, and I think it was the sort of stress, etc. I mean, is it something that, if it's a recurring problem, does it then therefore become a medical problem?
Yeah. Well, migraine is a medical condition. As you said, it affects 1 in 5 or 6 women, only 1 in 15 men. It's simply a medical condition. Some people have asthma, some people have diabetes, some people have migraine. And the migraine will manifest with pain, and it can really mess up your life. It can stop you from going out, it can stop you from having the fun you want to have. It can destroy your day, your weekend, your plans with your family, with yourself. So it really interferes with your life.
Doc, let's hear from a listener out there. You mentioned talking about messing up your life. Varsha joins us live on the line now. Hello, Varsha. Hi, Varsha. You contacted the show with your concerns about your migraine problems. Maybe you could just tell us a few of those problems and we'll get some advice from the doctor.
Okay, sure. I've been having migraine issues for close to about 5 to 6 years, and it just seems to get worsen up. It's not getting any better. I've taken a lot of pills. I've tried everything, right from natural therapies to, taking different doctor advices. But majority of the doctors where I go to and what they say to me, one common thing is identify your trigger points, identify what are your triggers. And for me, even though I have tried doing that, it just never seems to be the same situation.
Okay,
so,
well, let's get some thoughts from Doc. Is this a common problem?
The cause of migraine is a migraine generator that is located in the back of the brain, an area called the brainstem. Now, why do some people have it and some people don't? We don't know. In traditional Western medicine, there's no cure for migraine. We don't know the exact cause. We know where the electrical signals come from the brain that precipitate a migraine, but we don't know why that happens. We do know that there are, in some individuals, certain triggers. Some of the most common triggers are irregular eating and sleeping patterns, hunger. So in Ramadan, the first few days are very difficult for people who fast and have migraines. Stress. Not only stress, but stress release also. I mean, you could be stressed all week. You come home in the weekends, and it's called weekend migraines. You want to relax, boom, the migraine sets in.
So for Varsha's course, she seems to have been to a number of doctors before, been given a lot of information. What would be your advice to her from this point now?
Well, the initial migraine evaluation takes about an hour.
Okay.
Some people don't have triggers. She's complaining that, I cannot identify any triggers. There may be no triggers. Migraine can happen without triggers. She needs to understand the medications and use the correct medications at the right dosages for the right amount of time and take the medicine early. Many people delay taking medications and therefore don't get the relief they ought to.
Well, we hope that helps. Varsha, thanks very much for your call. We've had a lot of other comments as well, haven't we? That's for sure.
Yeah, in fact, one of our viewers, Lena, she wrote to us saying that she's had migraine for many, many years. And now her 14-year-old daughter has been complaining of the same. So, doctor, would you say that migraine is hereditary?
Migraine often runs in families. So if you've got migraines, doesn't mean your children will have it, okay? It can skip generations. Plus, it's very common. 1 in 6 women will have it. So if there is a family history of migraine, there's a much higher incidence of the children getting migraine. Children as young as 2 and 3 years old can have migraine or migraine equivalents. They can have spells where they're having episodic vomiting or just dizziness, and they cannot verbalize that. They cannot tell you they have a headache. But how do we know that this is migraine? Because as they become adults, they develop the classical migraine symptoms. And when we treat these children with medicines for migraines, they get better.
Seek professional advice, get some correct advice as well. Dr. Deeb Kayed, thank you very much indeed for being with us. Neurology.ae is the website if you'd like to find out more about Dr. Kayed and the rest of the team down at Dubai Neurology. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you.
Now it's time for us to get back over into the West Wing to reveal tonight's winner, because Ash and I are feeling really, really generous. We just want to give stuff away.
Yes, we do, because lots of you have been taking part this evening, but we have selected 3 finalists and it's time to talk to them. Hello, who's on line 1?
Hi, it's Mehwish. I'm calling from Ajman.
I didn't get your name. What's that?
It's Mehwish.
Mehwish, are you feeling lucky tonight?
Yeah, I feel lucky, yeah.
Did you enjoy the quilling kit?
I loved it. In fact, I was looking forward to get it.
All right, Mehwish, hang in there. Moving on to line number 2.
Hello, line number 2. Who's on 2? Hello, who's on line 2?
Yeah, hello.
Hi, who's that?
Yeah, hi. This is Nix here from Dubai.
Nix, how you doing? You're in Dubai, are you?
Yes, right. I'm doing good.
Whereabouts in Dubai are you?
I'm at Garhood.
Good stuff. Okay, look, Nix, you're up against Mehwish this evening. It is just a 50-50 chance of both of you. So how do we do? What we do is, a little earlier on, we asked the one and only Suzanne Hussaini to choose a number between 0 and 2. It was chosen by her and placed into this envelope, which I'll now give to Ash. And I'll just quickly remind you of what you could be winning here this evening. Mehwish and Nix. You could be winning our 2 tickets to Oliver, brunch for 2 at the Ibn Battuta Gate Hotel, a quilling kit, and of course this personalised When Suzanne Cooks cookery book. It's a great little prize. Ash, put them out their pain.
And the winner of tonight's grand prize is... line number 2. Congratulations.
Well done to Nick. A prize
Thank
for
you
you.
so much. Thank you so much.
Not
All
at
right,
all.
have fun, sweetheart.
She's
Thank you
happy,
so
wasn't
much,
she?
yeah.
She's extremely excited.
Good
Wow.
cooking. Thanks for Nick.
All right, okay, now we need to get back to the kitchen because Suzanne has just 60 seconds left.
Well, hello there. I'm almost done. Everything is coming together. My yogurt is done. I've stabilized it with the cornstarch. I've also added the Swiss chard. And now the finale is I'm sauteing. Can you hear the, can you smell the garlic?
I can totally smell it.
I am sauteing the garlic and I'm going to add on a little bit of cilantro. And that's going to be the finishing touch.
How long does a dish like this typically take to prepare?
To prepare, well, you know, if you've got everything ready, it's not going to take long at all. It's all about preparation.
So just under 30 seconds remaining, and you know what?
All
Even
right.
Suzanne.
She baked us some lovely cookies. How sweet
Yes,
of you.
actually, that's my medicine for migraines. I don't know about you, but I think that's...
We'll get Dr.
Yes.
Dr. Dave to come
I'm
and
going
try
to
a
take
couple
out,
of those later.
you know, I've boiled my shish butter, and it's cooked.
It's just an Arabic version of the dumplings, I believe.
Well, it is an Arabic dish completely. All right?
All right, and your time is up.
It is up, isn't it?
And the
Don't you
shish
worry
barak
about
looks ready and delicious.
We're going to be diving into that very, very shortly.
just have to plate.
Suzanne, this is one of your dishes in the book, of course. All
Yes,
those
it
dishes
is.
available on
Yes, it
the
is.
website at the moment and in the book. So,
It is.
one of your favourites?
It is one of my favorites, absolutely. I put the sauce on top,
Great stuff.
and then the very last thing,
Well, we'll
I
try
add
that.
on
We'll-
the...
We'll have a go at that during the end
go.
credits here on the show, because that's all we've got
then
time
my
for
garnish.
this evening. Thanks to Suzanne Hussaini for
And
this
my
wonderful
jewels.
dish, the jewels on top as well. Thanks to all of our viewers this evening, and of course the
Voila.
questions for you. Thanks for getting in touch with the show.
If you want to comment on anything you've seen tonight or give us some more suggestions, of course, you can log on to our Facebook page and call our audience response line. That's 056 680 1018 and leave a message.
Eat or do, to eat or... job hunting. Stay tuned to watch the all-new Daily Emirates 24/7 right after the break, as they'll have the latest prospects for the coming year.
And we'll be back tomorrow evening with an update on our breast cancer campaign. And Gadget Geeks are in for a treat. Our good laptop guide. Make sure you don't miss it.
Thanks very much for dropping by this evening. We'll see you tomorrow. Good night.
Try it.